The reasons as to why we dream, as to why we have dreams in the first place, are still largely a mystery. Science does give us a few, reasons as to why we have dreams, or, point in that direction. I'm just going to be going over some that really made sense to me. And later on in the video, I'm going to be going over some interesting theories as to, why we have dreams, right? And I'm interested in hearing if you guys have had similar experiences, or if you can relate to those. So the first reason as to why we dream, or the first theory as to why we dream that really made sense to me, is that dreams are just a way of your brain to process information that's of relevance, and processing information, again, that's not so important. So it's basically your brain's way of, sorting out the important stuff and putting that into long-term memory and just getting rid of the rest, right? So obviously, not everything that we do from day to day is going to hold, value or importance, I guess is the word. Not everything that we do is going to be super important, right? So dreams are just a way for your brain to process the important stuff, right? Like I said earlier. And, making sure that that information is not lost, and basically just storing it for later use, right? So that's the first theory that really made sense to me. The second one is dreams are just a way for your brain to make sense of the signals that it's still receiving while we're asleep, right? Well, while we fall asleep, obviously the brain's activity is not going to completely cease to exist, right? It's going to go way down, but it's still active. Your brain is still receiving signals. Neurons are still firing. The nervous system is still, doing what it has to do. Your organs are still working, so the brain is still going to be receiving messages and signals. So dreams are just a way for your brain to make sense of these signals, while you're in a sleeping state, right? So not every dream that we have is going to be super logical and it's going to make perfect sense to us, right? There's plenty of dreams that are just completely illogical and that make absolutely no sense, right? I'm sure you can relate, and I'm sure you've had plenty of those dreams in the past. But again, I'm sure you've also had dreams that made perfect sense, that were logical, and that actually felt very real, right? And felt, not only felt, but turned out to have great importance, right? If they felt like they had great importance while you were having them. So the first interesting theory that I came across, regarding dreams, and I'm interested in hearing if, you relate to this one, is that dreams are actually just past experiences from past lives. Again, personally, I've had dreams where I was in some sort of scenario or setting that felt completely familiar, right? I felt like I had been there before, or I felt like I, knew where I was. Not only that, but I've had dreams in the past where, I've come across certain people in my dream and I knew who they were. I was completely aware in my dream and I knew who these people were. And I could tell you who they were in my dream, but once I woke up, I had no idea, about these people or about where I was. So the second interesting theory is that dreams are just experiences or events that are going to take place in the future. Again, I'm not sure if you can relate to this, but I've personally had dreams where, some scenario happened, or I was in a specific place, or I met a specific person. And later on in real life, whether it be weeks, months, or even years later, I'm in a scenario that, makes me feel deja vu. And suddenly I can recall the dream that I had. And, the dream that I had was actually taking place in real life. These experiences, these dreams that actually turned out to be real later on in life, right, are far and few between, but I can distinctly recall, a couple of instances where this has been the case that I can, that I can recall. I'm interested in hearing if you guys can relate to this one. It's a very interesting thing, right? Dreams in general. And like I said earlier, I think that the reasons as to why we have dreams go beyond just the physical side, right? I think personally that, it's more than just your brain's way of trying to make sense, of signals that it's receiving while we're asleep, or just the physical side of things. It's more than just your brain's way of relaxing and recharging for the day, right? I think there's also a spiritual side to this, that hopefully one day we can uncover, right, or discover the true reasons, right, as to why we have dreams. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening. I just wanted to talk about this very fascinating topic, right? And like I said earlier in the video, the reasons as to why we dream are still largely a mystery. I'm interested in hearing, about, what you guys think on this topic. Have you had similar experiences? If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for listening. I make videos on topics like these, topics that fascinate me, whether it be a topic like, again, dreams, or, the giants from the past, ancient architecture. If you consider yourself open-minded and you can do your own research, handle information, process it, and come to your own conclusions, then this channel is perfect for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.